the No Kings protest where everyone was like, no, what is it? Like, they don't like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
No okay, let's say you were like at that, and then someone yells down with the government. Do you think they should be able to say that, or is that like treason? Is that like, do you think someone should be able to like burn the flag and be like, down with the U.S. government? Hypothetically.
Well,
like,
I mean, in some cases that's wrong, but at the same time, if the government's really that bad...
Like, do you think the government should be able to arrest someone for saying that the government shouldn't exist?
I'd say it depends on the scenario.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I get that.
What scenario in mind did you have where they shouldn't be arrested for saying that?
Well, because I mean, if the government truly isn't really doing anything productive, then what's the point, you know? But if they are doing something productive and worthwhile, I think that they should be arrested, but...
Who would decide whether or not it was right? Like, because the government wouldn't be able to decide if you're hating on the government. So, like, do you think, like, the general population or, like, lawyers or, like, what do you think?
I feel like the general population could agree if it was right or not.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we should have provided more context as to what we're doing. Because we kind of just started bombarding you with questions, so sorry about that. But we have decided to do this kind of as a project, potentially for college applications.
Well,
I was thinking college.
This is all also, just to
I feel like I feel like we could get like taken out of context. But
I mean, earlier I was talking about like getting threatened by like a kindergartner, and I said, well, if I like kicked the kindergartner, and I feel like taken out of context, there's no like
yeah, there's no like good way to
like in context. I was talking about like how they're not actually like a threat, but if you take that out of context, it just sounds like I said I would kick a kindergartner.
Yeah, and we also just spent $50 on a podcast microphone that may or may not work any better than a regular speaker on the laptop. But
you know what? Fair enough.
We appreciate your time.
We do appreciate your time. And also, where are you? Are you
okay? All right, so we're talking about the freedom of speech and like, should there be any limitations, and if so, like, how limited, and who should decide them? Who should decide those?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, freedom of speech. Well, obviously, if you're in the United States, we have the most freedom of speech, right, compared to any other country in the world.
Right.
Which is a wonderful thing. But when it turns into something that is a threat to others, meaning verbally you're threatening to hurt someone else or something like that, then obviously those kind of things I feel are illegal. Now, what people put out on Twitter and, Instagram and all those things, I'm hesitant to say that you don't have the right to say anything, right?
Right.
But I do think that if it comes down to the point where you're threatening a person, then that should not be tolerated. Now, who decides that? Too many people who have too many opinions. And your generation's a little fluffy, right? You can't handle a lot of truths and opinions because you get your feelings hurt all the time.
Yeah. Right. So, like, we asked our friend, I should probably give context that you are a teacher. We asked a friend who's our age, and she said that, like, the general population should decide instead of, like, the government.
There's a bunch of idiots. Listen, we are surrounded by idiots. The general population overall is maybe somewhat smart. There's a lot of mouth breathers out there. Who should decide it? I mean, you're elected officials, right? So if you're going to vote to have someone in that position to take care of issues like that, that's fine. But probably it should come down, unfortunately, it probably most of the time comes down to, federal courts, right? Mm-hmm. That freedom of speech, that's for the courts to decide what's right and what's not right. But if it's a direct threat to someone, then local law enforcement will hopefully do their job.
What about what about like an indirect threat? Like if you
Give me
were
an example.
like if you were, I brought this up earlier.
Wait, can we use the theater?
We'll use the theater,
Okay.
and then we can use the protest one. Okay,
So
go. This
if
is Lila.
someone intentionally yells fire in a theater and the panic causes someone to be seriously injured, do you think that person should be
Oh, yeah, they're
charged?
liable.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're idiots.
Okay,
They need their ass beat.
then let's say
But that's not the logic way.
let's say you're at like a protest, right? And
Yeah.
you're like, you yell out, down with the government. And because like you're just angry, you're just like,
Yeah.
whatever. And then people actually like start rioting. You didn't even mean for that, but like, should you be arrested for starting that?
I mean, look at January 6th. Like, look what happened there. Like, Trump was using his freedom of speech. It ended up a bunch of people acting like ding-dongs that couldn't control their emotions. And then that's when all that shit happened at the Capitol. Ask that again. I need to think about this one.
Like, if I was at a protest and I'm like super heated, and whatever government, any country, like I am super heated, and I don't know, I just happen to be like on a tall tree or something, and I yell down with the government, and then all of a sudden people hear that and they actually agree, and then they get violent, even though I was just expressing my opinion that I don't like the government.
No, well, you're not telling them to go throw down the government. Like, go attack the government. That's a direct,
Right.
But you also have the people who are in the crowd have the decision or have to make the choice. Okay, are my actions going to get me, killed or put in jail?
Mm-hmm.
And so just because I'm yelling something like, go down with the government or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
how you react to that is going to be different than how someone would yelling fire would react. If I'm yelling
Right.
fire or gun, that's a panic situation where they're
Right.
trying to flee for their life. But yeah, if you're at a riot and you're saying your piece, as long as you're peaceful, yeah, you can say whatever you want to say. But once you start throwing hands,
Okay, are you,
No.
for the last scenario, because I bring this up
Oh,
because,
God.
are you okay with me stating your past profession?
teaching, yeah, I'm a teacher. Yeah, I don't
Okay, yeah.
care.
So, do you think in school...
Sorry about that.
There's a ringer on. Do you think in
Oh.
school, students should be able to say whatever they want? And if not, like, what is the limit there?
Okay, so that's a
coming
very
from a
broad
teacher.
question.
Like, should I be able to go into this is not a threat. I'm saying, like, should
Yeah.
I be able to, like, hate on... No, as in, like...
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
obviously, you should not go into a school and threaten them. But I'm saying, if you're in a
Yeah.
school and you're just, like, hating on other people, you're just openly talking about how you hate a group of people.
Then you better openly get ready to get your ass beat. But that doesn't happen with y'all because everyone's scared and it's bullying. If I go into a school and I'm like, listen, I can't stand Arden. I think she is beep, 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 right?
Right.
I have the right to say that. Now, I
Right.
might get scolded by a teacher for speaking inappropriately, right? Because maybe I'm using foul language and I don't
Right.
need to do that if I'm a student. But if I'm talking shit about someone, then I better have some game to back it up. Because if that person wants to come whip my ass and I can't defend myself, I shouldn't have been talking in the first place.
Right. But on, like, a
There's
legal...
natural consequences.
Right.
Okay.
But, like, on a legal... From a
We should
legal
test that out.
We should not test that out. I am not strong. From a legal...
Yeah, Arden, no. Stick to your night skies.
From, like, a legal perspective, should students be able to say that? Like,
I've
legally.
heard students talk plenty of shit, right? And you can express how you feel. You don't like so-and-so. I hate so-and-so because they're this and that. You can say that all you want as long as you don't follow through with a threat.
Right.
If I am mad and I'm like, I'm going to go get that bitch, well, that's now a threat. And now you have consequences.
Right. Okay.
So there has to be a threat of, harm involved, I think.
Is there like a... like, if I'm talking about a specific person, that's different. But, like, if I'm talking about a group of people, I have a t-shirt, or I'm, like, saying a certain group of people I don't like and I don't think should go to this school. Is that different, or is that kind of the same thing?
No, you're not threatening anyone. You're just voicing
Okay.
your opinion. As long as
Okay.
that's not threatening someone, you can have an opinion. There's plenty of people that you don't like, right? And you have the right to say that, but just there's going to be consequences.
Right. Okay.
But no, it's not illegal or anything. It's not something. Believe me, I taught middle and high school for so long. All they did is talk shit. I'm like, yeah, well, I didn't take it. I didn't make any of them get in trouble. They're just expressing their frustration. It has to be something threatening. Then you report that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We appreciate your
All
time.
the shit you want.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you for
I'll
helping
hustle
us.
first.
here.
Yes,
Alright,
thanks
bye.
for.
Bye.
Okay, maybe we should have prefaced with disclaimer there was going to be cussing. I did not.
Oh yeah.
I
Do
did
you
not.
think we can like?
Oh,
We're gonna
freedom
have
of
to-
speech, Lila.
Freedom of speech. Oh my god. Yeah. No censorship. Wait. I think we're gonna do another segment change.
Okay, we're going historical now. We're
Very
using our
historical.
limited knowledge. So presidents.
Presidents.
I think every single president at some point has people have been like, you're taking away our freedom of speech. But there's like 3 that specifically come to mind.
Okay, yeah. I think the first one that is pretty common knowledge is President Lincoln.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, to a certain demographic of students.
Okay, yeah,
You
but I do
know,
think you could use President
But yeah,
Lincoln. Abraham.
Abraham. There was. I
be
don't think there was any other.
Probably
Abraham
not, but
Lincoln.
We're being specific
No,
here.
okay, yeah. So
So
describe what happened.
okay. So President Lincoln after being involved in, a small thing called the Civil War.
Yeah, you know.
It happened a while ago.
Yeah.
Decided to arrest anyone that criticized the Union or the government.
This was during the Civil War, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And even censor of press who disagreed with him.
Yeah. This was specifically in Maryland where the capital was. So the question is, was that okay? Knowing the
No.
context we do now, was that okay at all?
No way.
If we're in no way.
I don't think we can do that.
If Maryland had seceded because they were spreading that kind of like we hate the Union, then
I still
Does it?
Okay, I
think we both agree that
actually
like
I actually disagree. I think that they should have had the right to voice whatever opinion they
Without the
wanted to.
consequences. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. And especially I'm particularly pressed about the restrictions on the press.
Because you could
That's what
argue
gets me.
You could argue that they weren't actually going to leave, that they just wanted to. If anything, you
Yeah,
could say
so
that
they just
Lincoln
wanted
censoring
to-
them kind of proved their point.
Exactly. You could say that.
Even when looking historically, even if it was a good outcome, it's still bad because it could have been a bad outcome. And because also you shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because okay,
So
we agree with that. But does that tarnish his presidency at all? Like, does that make him?
I think it does.
You think it does?
I think it does tarnish his presidency.
Is he still a good president? Or
Yes,
is he?
I do think he was still a good president
Okay.
because he was able to, stand up for the abolitionists and actually fight for the Union and preserve the country.
But
of
what
course.
he did then was not okay.
But I do think it does put a bit of a tarnish on his reputation
that's
because
true.
it shows that he really didn't take the Constitution that seriously.
Okay. Well, I agree. Even if it's for a good cause, that's subjective. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, well, if we're going to so if we're going objectively a little sketchy,
Objectively
we're going
speaking.
further back to John Adams.
Oh God.
And his Alien Sedition Act. John Adams. I haven't heard. Sorry.
Yeah.
So people were criticizing him, and he already knew he was unpopular. And he and Mr. Hamilton wrote the Alien Sedition Act along
course.
with the friggin' why am I forgetting the party name? This is how you know.
Gosh, you're.
I'm sorry.
If you keep going like this, you're gonna get a 4 on the A-push test.
I am getting a good score on that test.
Yes, you are.
Except I forgot. The Federalist, yeah.
Yeah, the
obviously. I was testing you.
Federalist.
Gosh, freedom of speech. I could pretend however. Sorry, anyways. So people started criticizing him, and he knew he was going to get kicked out of the government. So he started, he among other things, the Alien Sedition Act was like, you can't criticize the government was it if you were an immigrant, or was it no matter what?
I think it was no matter what.
No matter what. Okay.
It was.
So,
and that basically ruined his political career, completely.
Right.
So I think that definitely.
Right.